and welcome. I'm Wolfgang Riebe and this is one of my quick tips. Today I want to talk to you and ask you, what have you done in the last few months? What do I mean by this? Well, I regularly ask myself a few important questions which relate to my dreams, my goals, and whether I'm on the right track in order to achieve what I set out to do at the beginning of the year. Additionally, and maybe even more importantly, I question myself as to what I have done for others and for humanity in general since the start of the year. Have you done this for yourself? These are questions that many people are afraid to ask. And they include, have I made a difference for the positive? Is the world better off because I have been alive in the last few months? Can I name at least one person whose life I have enriched since the beginning of this year? And have I helped someone change their future for the better and given them hope for the year ahead? Whew! Not questions that many people can give an affirmative answer to. Wow! Why is that? Have we really become so conditioned and so brainwashed by greed, materialism, and the capitalistic culture around us that we just don't care for others? Isn't that kind of sad? Ha! But I hear you say that you love your children, your spouse, and your parents, and that you do everything you can for them. Really? When was the last time that you've actually told them this? When was the last time that you actually spent time with them and just spoke about their feelings, dreams, needs, and desires? In fact, when was the last time that you just sat down and listened to what they have to say? And this does not include sending an SMS or reading your emails while they're chatting to you, because then you're not concentrating. Phew. I say this and I think of myself. Only yesterday my wife came and spoke to me while I was on the computer designing a new cover for a new book. Sadly and ashamedly, I have to admit, I can't remember what she spoke to me about. So guess what I've been doing today? I've been asking for forgiveness. I've been going back, sitting down and listening to what she had to say. You see, we really have changed as human beings in this Western world that we live in. Now, whether it's for the better, well, that's a debatable question, especially if this is the behavior that we practice. Now, of course, change and advancement, and of course, everything that's happening with technology is part of the world that we live in. And yes, it's an essential tool and an essential part of moving forward and embracing the future. However, there is something that we tend to forget about, and this is called balance. You see, part of our instant technology-driven world is that as humanity, we've been conditioned to want, and to want it now. Ask anyone the reason why they want something today. I would guesstimate that 90% of the time they cannot give you a decent validation for their desire. They would merely answer, because I just want it, that's it. Kind of messed up, huh? Look at the older folks. They often comment that the younger generation, the people, you know what, they no longer have any values, they have no appreciation for anything. Could that have to do with this instant gratification culture and society that they've been brought up in and exposed to? Years ago, think about this, access to information was completely limited. It wasn't as freely available as today. You had to go to the library to find something out. Values were different. Credit was more difficult to come by. But in all fairness, even the older generation have been conditioned to fall prey to this new generation XY behavior and way of thinking. Consider for one moment the massive, and I really mean massive, increase in divorce rates of people in their 50s and 60s. This was completely unheard of a few decades ago. So, have the baby boomers also fallen prey and replaced everything that they grew up with, just like that in a heartbeat, and been seduced by this introduction of newer is better? So, every 2 months we get a new mobile phone or we get a new car, so why don't we just replace our spouse as well? Let's not sit through the thick and thin and the problem areas. Could that be? At least once a week, I have a conversation with, and I mean this, complete stranger as to the state of the world today and the fact that no one cares anymore. Where did the self-serving attitude of, how can I put this, political correctness come in? That no matter what you say and to whom you say it, someone, somewhere is offended and finds this emotionally distressing simply because you uttered an innocent statement? Well, in all fairness, I would like to blame the, how do we put this, blood-sucking, lecherous, self-serving majority of politicians who have commandeered the press, the media, and they basically only broadcast their self-serving agendas, and they're the ones that started this thinking. Oh, did it feel good to get that off my chest? But sadly, no one today has any decent people to look up to. Think about it. Politicians and self-serving leaders, they've just become nauseating mentors of society. All we are left with is people with hidden agendas. Think about this. Am I being overly negative? Just do me a favor, name just one handful of religious leaders, sports stars, politicians, or musicians that actually have their heads screwed on right. The days of the Gandhis and the Mother Teresas, those are few and far apart. In fact, and this is the crux of my message in this video today, is those heroes don't exist in the limelight anymore. I want you to seriously sit down and reflect about the people that have made an impact, a big one at that, in your life and in the community around you. Dare I allude that it is the mother of your friend who takes your last spare cash and helps the soup kitchen every second day? It's the mothers that are actually playing one's taxis, that drive the kids to and from school and extramural activities, and you actually are sitting in the car talking and connecting with the youth and instilling values. It's that teacher who sees how messed up the educational system is because of bureaucracy and officials, and yet still stays after school and spends time with those kids that need that guidance and nurturing. That is the teacher that is creating the future change. Those are the people that are making the difference. So what's the answer? How do you achieve all your dreams and goals and live a life of purpose when this is the reality of the world? Firstly, stop hanging out with negative people, and when you do encounter them, stand up for what is right and challenge them on their self-serving ways. Do you know that as a society, the majority of people cry emotional distress when people say things that they don't agree with or like. All they do is bitch and moan at how they have been offended and spend hours writing about it in the press, in the newspaper, and the social media. Why don't they stand up and make themselves heard by taking action? Writing about something ain't going to solve anything. You have got to change what you don't like by taking action. Sadly, it's called responsibility. You see, and most whiners are afraid of this because it means that they actually have to remove that big object which is lodged in the orifice of their rear end, and they actually have to get up and make a physical effort to change it, rather be an armchair complainer. They actually have to stand up, speak up, and may just challenge someone else's views face to face. Oh, horrors! It's so much easier to post a snotty comment on Facebook or on Twitter than to actually deal with this and challenge someone face to face. You see, that's what many people have stooped down to. And this is my answer to the appearance of all this political correctness and nonsense around. When someone is challenged today and they don't like being confronted with the truth or even a simple practicality of a situation, they scream emotional distress and political correctness. You violated my space. Oh, come on. Do you know that everyone, even those in the wrong, have rights today? What happened to taking responsibility of your own life and the lives of others as well? And here is my solution to start changing this sad mindset that we have to deal with on a daily basis in this new world. Stop blaming everybody else. Physically get up and go out and do something real that will help someone else, not just yourself. If you are in a business and in a leadership position, do me a favor, get up out of your plus office chair and walk around your company. Actually go around and look for people who have talent and who are hungry to make a difference in this world. Go and spend some time with them, get to know them, and nurture them and guide them as they are the future leaders and mentors of this society. Just sitting on your butt, serving your own needs, is not going to create a better future for anyone around. And if you work for yourself, if you are a home executive, or even unemployed, go and look for others in your area that may just need someone to listen to them, or someone to spend time helping them with a task, or even teach them a skill. Just make the time. Show the people out there that someone else cares, that you care. Just imagine that for one day, each and every one of us threw out all our issues into the trash can, out the window, and simply turned to the next person that you see or meet and ask them one simple question. For the next hour, how can I help you improve your life? Can you imagine how the whole world would change? And that is within the next hour? So my message to you with this video is to seriously ask yourself what you have done to change not just the world, but also your immediate surroundings. That includes work and that includes home, of your life and those of the people around you, for the better. If you can't think of anything, start doing so now. Start changing now. Even if you start with something really small. Because remember, all big things always have a little beginning. And if you really want to know the secret to happiness and joy, it's easy. Seek joy in what you give, not in what you get. And if you want true contentment and change the world for the better, remember that by seeking happiness for others, only then will you find it in yourself. I trust that I've been able to shift your perceptions today and the way that you think, and that you are now going to go out and help change the world and the lives of others around, so that it's a better place for all of us. Until next time, from me, Wolfgang Riebe, cheers.